series. Cubs got back to 500. Still trying to get above 500 for the first time this year. Maybe today's the day.
Yeah, the Mets, they're a star-studded team. They're a little banged up right now, but they've been struggling. You don't know how long that's going to be, but if there was a good time to catch somebody, you wonder if this is it.
Edward Cabrera, big right-hander on the mound for the Cubs, has pitched very well so far. A win, no losses, his ERA around 1.6. He'll go to work on Carson Bench, and the first pitch of the series is taken inside, and away we go. Let's get you the Cubs lineup. Nico Horner leads off at second base. Michael Busch at first. Alex Bregman at third. The 1-0 is taken for a strike. The Cubs cleanup man is the left fielder Ian Happ. Seiya Suzuki in right field. Moises Ballesteros, the designated hitter. Moises batting sixth. The 1-1 swung on and missed. Carson Kelly catching. Pete Crow Armstrong in center. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, Dansby Swanson. Bench has an open stance, left-handed batter. He'll take down low, and it's 2-2. Ron, as you think about Cabrera facing these Mets, what's on your mind?
Well, it's first of all, getting established and establishing the fastball, and then that changeup and establishing in the zone.
The 2-2 hit in the air to left, playable for Happ, makes the catch. Solid line drive the other way. We were watching batting practice a couple of hours ago, Ron. The ball really jumping out of here to left and left center. Fortunately for the Cubs, that was a low liner, and it stayed in the park.
Yeah, if that ball gets in the air, it's going to be long gone. As we said, guys were hitting the ball out onto the street over and over today in batting practice.
Bo Bichette, the batter, played for the Toronto Blue Jays and appeared in the World Series against the Dodgers last fall, signed by the Mets to a free agent deal. He's off to a slow start. The Mets are not hitting. Swinging a bouncer foul. Cabrera got inside on his hands, and the count 0-2. Bichette's average, .228 with a homer and 9 RBIs. The Mets are really struggling. They have lost 8 consecutive games. Here's the next offering. Strike 3 called. And Bo Bichette is out on strikes. The Mets were swept by the Dodgers in Los Angeles earlier this week. And you knew they were struggling, Ron. They had a series at home against the Athletics last weekend, and they lost all 3 games.
Yeah, think of that.
But 2 down. Here's Francisco Lindor batting. And the pitch to Lindor is a strike.
They lost Soto to injury, and Bichette not swinging the bat well. Lindor's hitting under 200.
Swing and a miss by Lindor. Lindor has a grand total of 1 homer and 1 RBI so far.
Right.
Mets have played 19 games. Let's see if Cabrera can work a 1-2-3 first inning. The big right-hander rocks and fires 0-2. Chopped foul right side.
Little change up there, 93 miles an hour. Speed gun today, as always, powered by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Xfinity. Imagine that. First inning is powered by Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated.
Fastball is high. 1-2 to Lindor. Lindor, a native of Caguas, Puerto Rico. Switch hitting shortstop waiting. The pitch pulled foul on the ground right side. 71 delightful degrees. You could bottle this. I would love 71 degrees every day of the year, Ron. Sponsored by 4 Seasons. Game time temperature. Your local experts, trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. 4 Seasons.
I think they did find a place to bottle this up. They named it San Diego.
We'll be heading there on our next road trip. That really is some of the most delightful weather you could possibly have.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2, taken down low for a ball. Javier Assad is from Tijuana, just across the border from San Diego. Here comes the 2-2. Fly ball deep right field. Trouble back is Suzuki to the wall. off his glove and off the wall, and Lindor will have a double. Suzuki went back, reached up. I think he got the fingertips of the glove on the ball, Ron, but he had to be thinking about the approaching wall, the brick-covered ivy.
Yeah, you cannot run into the outfield wall at any kind of speed without getting hurt. He hits half of the wall and half of the garage door area in straight right field. The ball did hit the very tip of his glove, but that ball was hit very sharply by Lindor.
He did not get underneath it, which is a good thing for the Chicago Cubs. He hit it hard. It's a two-base hit. Here's Luis Robert Jr., former White Sox, hitting .241. The pitch to Robert. Pop fly, right center, playable. Pete Crow Armstrong running in, makes the catch. No runs for the Mets after a half.
Do you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes, we do. We are known by our brisket.
Barbecue brisket sandwich. Quality is better than other places, and it looks good. We're ready to eat.
We go to an average 500 briskets per game. We hear a lot from our fans. They want to try something with wrap, easy to eat. So we say, well, let's do like a, brisket wrap and an egg roll.
That's beautiful. You get the gold medal for culinary brisketry here in Texas.
Yes.
A lot of baseball fans have some familiarity with the T206 American Tobacco card set. Of course, features the famous Hannes Wagner card. What we have here are 3 cards from the lesser-known T205 set, which really was a successor to T206. T206 came out in 1909. These 3 cards, as part of the T205 set, came out in 1911.
I'm helping these kids be the best versions of themselves, and I'm also representing like where I came from. And in the Zilla team, I was working with a creative guy that was with Nike. I worked with my best friend who...
Dominating. Numbers don't lie, Chicago. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Chicago weather is tough. Your home siding should be tougher. Hardy Siding is engineered for our climate. James Hardy Building Products, siding with the Cubs. Learn more at jameshardy.com.
Dead leadoff man presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. If Nico Horner gets a base hit, Benny's Beverage Depot donates $200 to area service dog charities. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Nico Horner coming off a big series in Philadelphia. The last 2 games combined, he had 8 runs batted in to lead the Cubs to wins in each of the last 2 games after they lost the opener. Horner takes the strike. The right-hander Kodai Senga, a native of Gamagori, Japan, is pitching for New York today. Senga is ahead 0-1. He is 6'1", 205 pounds. And the pitch on the way to Nico. Hit in the air, shallow right. In fact, it's a pop fly. Simeon, the second baseman, just on the outfield grass, makes the catch. Ron, if you were in that Cub lineup, what would be your approach against Kodai Senga?
Well, in today's ball game, with the wind blowing out, like Nico just did, I would be on the attack on a pitch that's up in the zone. You really want to try to get the ball elevated and try to drive this ball to the middle of the diamond up. That to me would be the big thing. The pitch you've got to try to stay away from with him. Once he elevates that fastball, he's going to throw that split, and it's going to end up going down. He's a guy, though, he's got 5 or 6 pitches and really uses them all. Fastball, like sweeper they call him, looks more like a slider, split, cutter. He's got them all.
The 1-0 is down low for a ball, 2-0. Bush hitting 148. Cubs waiting for him to get hot. This is good hitting weather. That breeze really blowing out toward left and left center. The pitch to Bush. Check swing. It's down low, and the count now 3-0. There's a tendency, I think, Ron, in general, to give guys the green light when conditions are this favorable for hitting.
I absolutely agree with that.
The 3-0. He's taking all the way, 3-1. The umpires today, Todd Tischner behind the plate, Alex Tosi at first, Adam Hammery at second, and Austin Jones making the calls at third. Pitch to Bush, taken for ball 4. It's a 1-out walk. No score in the game. First inning, a man at first for Alex Bregman.
The catcher's challenging the pitch. They're going to challenge, second hitter of the game. And
it was a strike. So scratch the
New York
base on
has 2
balls
challenges
for
remaining.
a moment. The count now 3-2 on Michael Bush. The announcement of the umpire sponsored by Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Cubs wearing their City Connect Friday afternoon jerseys. Powder blue shirts with red numbers on their backs, white trousers. Kodai Senga's 3-2 pitch. Down low, ball 4, he walked in. I'm glad I didn't scratch out the base on balls. I write in pen on my scorebook. I don't know about you.
Same exact thing. I started to, and I was like, let's just wait, And he threw a split finger that bounced in front of home plate, so the scorebook still looked relatively good.
We both heaving a sigh of relief as Bregman bats. The pitch on the way to Bregman. Line drive, foul, fair ball down the right field line. Bush will go to third. Bregman holds with a long single. It almost looked like that ball landed in foul territory from here. But emphatically, Alex Tosi, the first base umpire, ruling fair. Boy, that was close.
We're getting a shot in our monitor here in our booth, and I think the ball, Pat, hit the outside part of the line and kicked up some of that paint and chalk that they put down the line. It's really paint when it's on the grass, but it ends up being a base hit.
First and third, Cubs with a scoring chance right away. Whenever a team is down like the Mets are, losing 8 in a row, you always hope you score first, which will even further demoralize them. At least that's the theory. Here is Ian Happ with the infield back. Ian hitting .212, batting left-handed, swings and misses 0-1.
Feel Like a Bosch prediction brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Feel Like a Bosch. I think Cubs have a good chance today to hit multiple home runs in this game.
Mets in their traveling grays. The stretch by Senga. Pitch to Happ, taken down low. Mets gray shirts and trousers, blue numbers on their backs trimmed in orange. Francisco Lindor sporting bright orange shoes out at shortstop. They've got blue hats, sleeves, and socks. Ian Happ with an RBI opportunity. The pitch. Ian loops it foul out of play, 1-2. Now Senga would like to get a strikeout, and Happ really wants to put it in play to get the run on the board. Let's see who wins this individual battle. Well, there's a big hole on the left side of the infield for Happ. Runners lead, first and third. And the pitch to Ian, outside, a changeup, 2-2.
So far, Senga has not had good command of the split yet. He's thrown, all the splits that he's thrown so far in this first inning have all been either shoot top high or bounce.
Walks to Cub batter, sponsored by It'sNotAGameIllinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. And the 2-2 from Senga. Swing and a miss. Changeup got him, and that's out number 2. Cubs still at first and third for Seiya Suzuki.
Now that's the best forkball he threw. That one started out in the zone and down. Pretty good pitch. Defensive lineman sponsored by Fitzgerald Equipment. Material handling, handle. Learn more at FitzgeraldEquipment.com. Playing straight away and deep for Suzuki.
Right-hander to right-hander. Senga ready. And the pitch. Seiya takes a strike. Senga 0-2 with an ERA of over 7. He's only had one really bad game, though.
Yeah, I believe it was his last start, right? He got banged around a little bit. 2 2/3, I believe.
It's against the Athletics, Ron. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 1/3, gave up 7 earned runs and 8 hits and suffered a loss in a final score of 11-6. 1-1 on Suzuki. Cubs at first and third, 2 down, no score, first inning. And the pitch. Seiya swings and misses. 1-2. Starting to see what you were talking about regarding the wide variety of pitches that Senga throws.
Yep, he's, he goes to certain patterns depending on left, right. The left-handed hitters, lots of splits.
Now the 1-2. It's down low for a ball, blocked by the catcher Alvarez. Michael Bush, the runner at third. Alex Bregman, the runner at first. 2-2, 2 down.
With all these splits in the dirt, Alvarez is going to have a long day behind home plate.
Boy, any fly ball to left right now is going to get considerable carry. Even a routine fly ball could leave the yard. And now the 2-2. Seiya hits one in the yard to right. Long run toward the line. Benj slides. Cannot make the catch. A run scores. Racing all the way to third is Bregman. Cubs lead 1-0. Benj tried to make a sliding shoestring catch, angling on the dead run over toward the right field line. He did not make the catch. It was kind of a risky move. If it bounces behind him, 2 runs would have scored. As it is, Bush comes in to score. Cubs lead 1-0, and the batter is Ballesteros.
Yeah, good effort, but I think actually the wind blowing out the left might have benefited the Cubs there, as it takes that ball and slices it and knocks it down. And I think that helped the Cubs because it bounced right in front of the outfielder as he's diving. And, as you said, very dangerous play. That ball goes past him. That's a triple, and 2 runs would have scored.
Here is Ballesteros batting. Cubs on the board, lead 1-0. And a pitch to Moises. Swinging and drive, left field and deep. Back goes Taylor. Taylor near the wall. Gone! 3-run homer, Moises Ballesteros. Cubs lead 4-0.
While you were just talking about the ball hit to left and left center, if you get it into the air, good things are going to happen for that hitter. Ballesteros looking for the ball away, and he got one away. Outside corner, this pitch, not that bad a pitch. It's at the knees. It's just, he gets it elevated, and the ball just took off, and it ends up in the basket, in the well, and straight left.
Moises with his 3rd of the year. Cubs with 4 on the board in the first inning. And here is Carson Kelly batting. And the pitch on the way. Hit foul off to the right, out of play. That is called taking advantage of the wind at Wrigley Field. Perfect example.
Yep, and Ballesteros, and as soon as, first pitch, he was looking for a ball away and got it.
The uniform descriptions we gave you, sponsored by Benjamin Moore. On the field or the walls of your home, the right team and colors make all the difference. Official paint of the Chicago Cubs, Benjamin Moore. So Edward Cabrera has a 4-run lead to lean on. The Cubs starting pitcher. Carson Kelly hitting .333. He's had a lot of good at-bats early in the year. He's got a homer and 7 RBIs. I think every hitter run dreams of getting off to a good start. Just to get that confidence going early. You know it's a long season, but the sooner you get hot, the better you feel.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Couldn't agree more. You think of him and Nico Bolt just red hot at the plate.
3-1 on Carson. Let's see if he gets something to hit. He did, and he fouled it back. Had a good rip.
Looked like a little cutter away, and he was right on it.
A walk, 2 singles, and a 3-run homer. Suzuki with 1 RBI. Ballesteros with 3 on his home run to the opposite field. And the payoff. Kelly hits one in the air to right, slicing toward foul territory, but it's going to stay fair for Benj to make the catch to end the inning. But the Cubs score 4. 4 runs on 3 hits. We go to inning number 2. Cubs 4, Mets nothing on the score, and the North.
Line to Ketel Marte, who is there for the out.
Oh, a crazy crash into the padded wall.
And that is caught by a diving McMahon.
Normal size shortstop, that's a hit.
Altman slides, and Altman able to make the play. A basket snow cone catch from Platinum in center.
That is a nasty double play.
Judge catches, rolls, and got it, double play.
And he slides into a nice catch to take a double away. Vientos takes a tumble, gets up, shovels to first in time, rolling along.
Grichuk, he's at the wall, leaping, he makes the catch.
Ellie De La Cruz reached up to the heavens and came down with a baseball, and he doubles up Gus.
Up the middle, and Junior is right there.
That was gorgeous.
Jumping and throwing for 2. Wow!
Diving stop, Vargas to his feet in time to...
So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Hey, Cubs fans, make history with your business in the Village of Bedford Park. To learn more, contact Adam Colopy at ACOLLOPY at villageofbedfordpark.com.
Top of the second at Wrigley Field. Cubs with a 4-0 lead over the Mets. The second inning is brought to you by Sea Glass Wines, official partner of the Cubs, bringing the California coast to you wherever you are. Huh?
All right, Zach, thank you. Zach will be along in the 5th inning to work with Ron Coomer. Rich Wyatt is our engineer at the controls. Here we go, second inning. Francisco Alvarez takes outside from the Cub right-hander Edward Cabrera. Let me ask you this about Cabrera. He now has a 4-run lead to work with, Ron. Here comes the 1-0, and that's going to be a strike. Does that change his game plan in any way, shape, or form?
I don't think so. I think he's going to try to do his very best to establish strikes and keep pumping his pitches in the zone because of his stuff being so good. But what it does do with Cabrera on the mound is it changes the game plan of the Mets, because now they're way behind, 4 runs. Cabrera is a guy that the Mets, as we heard in a scouting report earlier today, that they would run against a lot when he was with Florida. So now with the Marlins, are they going to run against him?
On top of that, there's some familiarity between the two of them. Cabrera making his 11th career start against the Mets. Fastball is down low to Francisco Alvarez, and he has struggled against them. 2-2 lifetime against the Mets with a 5.09 ERA. And the 3-2. Chopped foul at the plate. One thing you do not want to do once you get a lead like he's got, you don't want to walk anybody.
Right.
If they're going to come back, make them earn the comeback.
Especially on a day like today with that wind blowing out. We always talk about walks and defensive mistakes, errors.
Here's a bouncing ball toward third. Glove nicely by Bregman. Long throw offline. Infield single, Francisco Alvarez. That's a very tough play for a third baseman. You're running and you cross the foul line. You glove the ball in fair territory, but your momentum takes you a good 2 steps into foul territory. What an awkward long throw that is, Ron.
Yeah, he gets this ball. He's 1 step from the foul line. By the time he uncorks the throw, he's in the grass going towards the Cubs dugout. Excellent effort and play. Just couldn't get an out. A very tough play.
MJ Melendez, the designated hitter, takes outside. It's an infield single for Alvarez a minute ago. Second hit against Edward Cabrera. The big right-hander for the Cubs fires low and inside. It's 2-0. We welcome all of you to the north side of Chicago, wherever you might be. I know this is the only game going on around the big leagues. All of the other 28 teams play later on tonight. Here comes the 2-0. It's on the way. Fastball high. I'm trying to think, Ron. We may have had a Friday night game in some kind of a postseason situation at Wrigley. Regular season, I don't know if we've had a Friday night game here.
I was trying to think.
And I've only been here 31 years.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
There's a fastball in there for a strike, 3-1.
But did we last year with some of the streaming games and that have a night game on Friday?
Could be.
Last year.
Could be.
But I if we did, it was only one, and that's the only time we've done it. For some reason, I feel like we did, but just one.
Fastball in there for a strike, 3-2. Melendez flipping the bat away, thinking it was ball 4. Umpires would never admit this, but they're not crazy when you do that. Oh, they don't like that.
I've met a bunch of them that they don't mind telling you.
Yeah. You can wait until I say ball 4 before you flip the bat away, please. Just a matter of good manners, right? Nobody out. Let's keep an eye on Alvarez at first. And the pitch by Cabrera, swinging a line drive, base hit right field, sharply hit ball. Stopping at second is Alvarez. Melendez happy now that it was called a strike on the previous pitch as he gets a single. And 2 men on, nobody out. Marcus Semien coming up.
Now, 2-seam fastball down and in. I think Cabrera wanted to get a little more movement on that pitch, but it stayed fairly straight. And Melendez smoked that ball to right.
Semien struggling, hitting 194. He does have a homer and 7 RBIs. The pitch to Semien. Line drive, left center field, in the gap, base hit. It goes all the way to the wall. A run will score. Runners will end up at second and third. And the Mets are battling back here in the second inning. It's now a 4-1 ball game. Still nobody out, and men at second and third.
Well, Semien gets this pitch. It's about belt high, fastball, middle of the plate. And he didn't miss it. He hits this ball right on the button. This is the line drive bullet 2-hopper off the wall and left center. So Cabrera giving up some hard hit balls here in the second inning.
Brett Beatty, the batter, still nobody out. Cubs keep the infield back. Beatty wearing bright orange batting gloves on either hand, and he'll take a strike. Again, the Mets really in a tough skid. They have lost 8 consecutive games. And the pitch on the way, swinging a bouncer foul. The Mets in a recent series at Dodger Stadium earlier this week scored a grand total of just 3 runs in the 3 games. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout, and a much needed strikeout by Edward Cabrera. 1 away here in this second inning, and the batter Tyrone Taylor.
Good pitch, little change up down and away to get the punch out. Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers, brought to you by Chicago Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers.
Cubs keep the infield back. Taylor, former Brewer, hitting 182, and he takes outside for a ball. You may have heard Zach Zaidman report the news regarding Daniel Palencia, placed on the injured list right before the game with a left oblique strain, retroactive to April 14. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Now, Ron, I checked. He has not pitched in a game since last Sunday, that crazy long ball game against the Pirates here at Wrigley, which the Cubs won. He did not work in any of the games in Philadelphia. And now the 1-1 pitch to Taylor from Cabrera. Bouncer slowly foul toward third, but those are tricky injuries, those obliques. You never can say with any certitude how long a guy will be out.
I agree. Sometimes if it's not a severe one, guys can come back fairly quick. And then we've seen guys miss months of the season with that injury.
Now the 1-2 from Cabrera. Swinging a drive deep left center all the way back, and that ball is off the top of the wall. 2 runs are going to score. The throw to second, and the runner is going to be out at second base. 2 runs score. The batter Taylor overslid second base. Called out by the second base umpire Adam Hammery. And the Mets are deliberating whether or not to challenge the play or not. They're not going to challenge it. Give him a 2-run single, and a very good throw by Pete Crow Armstrong from near the left center field fence all the way to Nico Horner at second base. And again, a head-first slide by Taylor. He got there ahead of the throw, but he overslid the bag.
Yeah, he comes disengaged, and Nico's got the tag on him still. Good play by Pete, but that's another very hard-hit ball.
Fly ball to left. Should be playable for Happ near the track. On the track, makes the catch. And Carson Benz is out number 3. But the Mets score 3 times in the inning on the single, RBI single by Simeon, and the
I believe this one's it's a rookie card, I know, but I feel like it's the first card that I ever, big league card. Obviously, as a kid, trying to get to the big leagues, the dream of making it, but as a kid that had cards, right, as a kid, this is like seeing your card the first time is pretty cool. So that's pretty powerful when you see that card.
Be able to get one if they can get that. Here, John bobbles the ball and should have held it. They're going to try to score again there. And Tommy John should have stayed out of the way both times.
Tommy made 2 errors. 3 errors?
They can't give him 3 errors.
That is something. 3 errors on 1 play. Wow.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through June 30th, 2026.
Save 20% on Benjamin Moore Aura and Regal Select Interior Paints now through the 28th. Visit your locally owned Benjamin Moore store. Terms and conditions apply.
Saturday, May 2nd.
Pete Crow Armstrong hits a bouncer to first. Picked up by Beatty after he bobbled it a couple of times, but he maintained his composure and got the grip on the ball and shoveled it to the pitcher Senga on the mound, on the bag at first. Score that one 3-1, 1 away, and the batter Dansby Swanson. What do you got there, Zach?
Saturday, May 2nd, Pat. The Cubs take on the Diamondbacks at 1:20 in the afternoon. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Kerry Wood bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola. Don't miss this moment. Visit Cubs.com/tickets.
The anniversary of his epic 20 strikeout game coming up on the 6th of May. Let me see if I can do the arithmetic. 1998, 28 years ago.
How about that?
Is that possible? Here's a pitch. Low and outside for a ball. 2-0.
What's some of the things that come to mind when you first hear that, like today now, for that game?
Just how stunning it was, Ron. How shocking. And that's the thing that's beautiful about baseball. Many things, they come right out of the blue.
Yeah.
No way you could ever predict that in a million years.
Right.
And you keep watching it, you think, I'm watching baseball history right here. This is the best game I've ever seen pitched. And it still is.
Yeah, right. And it still is. You just said how many years you've been sitting in that chair?
Well, and I've been lucky enough to call, I think, 8 or 9 no-hitters.
Right. Yeah, I think I've been 6 or 7, yeah.
But that was better than any of the no-hitters.
That's right.
And it was a one-hitter as Dansby Swanson is batting. And, of course, all the no-hitters are wonderful achievements by pitchers. But you had to see Kerry Wood to believe it. That's how good it was. It was stunning.
The thing that stood out to me about that is some of the from Hall of Fame and great hitters in that lineup, in the how much they missed the breaking ball by feet.
3-2 pitch is down low to Dansby Swanson. He gets the base on balls. Well, let's just name a few of them. Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah, Bagwell and Biggio.
Greg Biggio, Moises Salou, Derek Bell.
Yeah.
Ricky Gutierrez had the only hit, but they were a division championship team that year,
right.
too. It wasn't just a second division team. Here's Nico Horner taking outside for a ball. But it was truly shocking. A kid making his 5th big league start, Kerry Wood, striking out 20 men, tying Roger Clemens' major league record. Deep drive to left off the bat of Nico. Get out the tape measure. Long gone. Nico Horner, 2-run homer. Cubs lead 6-3. He's becoming an RBI machine.
He really is. And, you know, he's got this slight adjustment to his approach at home plate that is allowing him to cover the ball inner half and pull it, not just hit it back through the middle of the other way. And the one thing we know about Nico, he's a really strong guy, and boy, he clicks on a ball. It's a no-doubter. This is a long home run.
His 3rd of the year. And the pitch on the way to Bush is taken low and outside for a ball.
Leadoff hitter's going to lead the league in RBIs.
He's got 20 RBIs, and this is only game number 19. Bouncer foul right side. Now, I'm not a mathematical genius, but he's going to drive in at this pace 175 runs.
I think that's good, isn't it?
I would certainly take it. And you, as an RBI guy, you know exactly what it means.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here comes the 1-1 to Michael Bush. It just had that resounding, familiar, unmistakable sound, that crack when the ball jumped off his bat. It didn't go quite as far as I thought it was going to, but it was gone the second he hit it, and he knew it.
Yeah.
Number 3 for Nico. He drove in 8 runs in the final 2 games against the Phillies. So this is 10 RBIs in the last 3 games, and we still have 7 innings to go today. 1-2 pitch. Bush strikes out swinging, out number 2. That's a big one. It answers the Mets rally from the top of the inning. Cubs had a big 4-run lead. Then it dwindled immediately down to 4-3, and now it's up to 6-3 again.
When it keeps the pressure on Senga on the mound, you know, so he had a tough first inning, but then you see some guys settle into the game. Well, this keeps the pressure on him.
Bregman takes low. Just one final thought about Kerry Wood. The thing that knocks me out, 20 strikeouts, no walks.
No walks. How about that?
How can you be any better than that?
No, man.
And the 1-0. Taken for ball 2 down low. 2-0 on Bregman. Bregman had a single, and he was along for the ride on Ballesteros. 3-run homer in the first.
Now, you and Kerry, that scorecard that you have, right? That's part of your scorecards that you've signed. You and Kerry Wood, right, from that game?
I do have some of those, and they're available at baseballvoices.com. It's the actual scorecard. Working with Ron Santo that day. Here's the next offering. Swing and a miss, and the count 3-1. No, it has been a popular one. The Game 7 World Series scorecard. That's my actual scorecard.
Yep.
Cubs.com. Cubs baseball, or baseballvoices.com, I should say. Baseball Voices. Here's a bouncer foul, 3-2.
I saw your scorecard yesterday from the World Series from Game 7. I was doing an appearance, and they had some of those there. Very nice.
Full count on Bregman. And now the stretch. And the pitch by Kodai Senga. It's strike 3 called. Bregman didn't like the call. He's not going to challenge it, but he didn't like it. Inning over. Cubs score twice on the home run by Nico Horner. It's on to inning number 3. Cubs 6, Mets 3. This is The Score on the Northwestern Medicine Cubs Radio Network.
Jays on the board first. In one swing, Bobichette makes it 3-0 and chases Shohei Ohtani from Game 7. Breaking ball, and he was all over it.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Sports betting the way it should be with no bet fees. Pat?
Bo Bichette swings and misses at the first offering by Edward Cabrera. Zach, it is time for the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Edward Cabrera deals fastball high to Bo Bichette. Here's the windup and the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Well, it's going to be close to a sellout. I see a few empty seats way up in the upper deck, but I'll go ahead and get our guesses going in the Benny's attendance game. Let's see. How about 36,063? Bichette takes the low one away, 2-2. Cubs trying to get above 500 for the first time all year. Trying to win their third in a row for the first time this season. Down low in the count, 3-2.
I'll say 36,800.
I'll go 37,500.
Here comes the payoff pitch to Bichette. Line to right. That's a base hit. Over toward the line to pick it up is Suzuki. And Bo Bichette with a 1-out single. Before Francisco Lindor bats. 10 for ID. This is The Score and the Northwestern Medicine Cubs Radio Network.
Talk Cubs on Rahimi, Harris, and Grody. Middays 10 a.m. to 2 on 104.3 The Score. This is the Northwestern Medicine Cubs Radio Network. WSCR, WSCR FM, and HD1, Chicago.
First of a 3-game series, 3 straight day games against New York here at Wrigley. Lindor, the batter, bounces one to first. Bush has it, throw to second. There's one. Back to first for a double play. Lindor out by a wide margin on the back end of the double play. And quickly 2 down, nobody on, and the batter, Luis Robert Jr.
Now, and you mentioned that he got thrown out by quite a bit. And Lindor, I don't know if he's hurting at all, if his legs are bothering him, but he was not running full speed down the line and was out by a good 2 full steps at first base.
Luis Robert Jr. takes down low. And on days like this, run double plays, which are always important in a ball game, take on added significance because it's just hard to get outs. Here's a little pop fly on the infield, playable. Bregman makes the catch. Cabrera does a good job after the leadoff single. The Mets do not score. Middle of the third, Cubs 6, New York 3 on the.
Yogi Berra was an 18-time All-Star and 10-time World Series champion.
This is the only perfect game in World Series history. You ask him about it, and he would say, it ain't been done before, and it ain't been done since.
David Wells was perfect on May 17th, 1998, Beanie Baby Day.
It's not the pitcher that's calling the game, it's the catcher calling what pitch to throw.
Home plate is 17 inches wide. And so he said, well, if it's more than an inch, and it was a lot more than an inch, then it's an illegal bat.
Well, the inning is winning. He's out. Yes, sir. Is out. Look at this.
Keep it down a little, will you, please?
Okay, Yogi.
Casey Stengel and the other touring ball players met the King of England.
Of course, with my English, we had a little trouble understanding each other.
As Yogi said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
It is a 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth card. It is 8.5 PSA. It's graded higher than the one in the Smithsonian.
This card at one point came with a pack or a stick of chewing gum.
This card actually is almost a century old. It was bought for a penny.
So the fact that just the heritage of a card like this is now coming up almost 90 years later into an auction, it's a pretty special moment.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Guys, Ian Happ is on deck. Who's on deck is sponsored by Timber Tech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit timbertech.com. Pat?
All right, Zach. Cubs offense. Productive so far. A 4-run first inning. The highlight, a 3-run homer by Moises Ballesteros. And a 2-run second inning thanks to a 2-run home run by Nico Horner. Ian Happ first up in this third. Cubs on top 6-3. Happ batting left-handed. He'll loop one foul out of play.
This third inning is brought to you by Consumers Credit Union. The people in your corner who stand up for you wherever you go. Consumers Credit Union.
Happ struck out in the first inning. He swings and misses at a changeup.
A lot of split fingers to the left-handed hitters from Senga.
Yeah, the 0-2. Just a little bit outside, 1-2. And the Mets are going to challenge that call by Todd Tishner. The catcher, Alvarez, thought it was pretty good. It did look close.
Alvarez caught it, and the way he caught it and stuck it there on the outside corner, I think he felt it was a strike, and we may be having a little.
This one's taking a little longer than it normally does.
System. There we go. Ball.
And it was just outside by a whisker.
New York has one challenge remaining.
Wow. That's close.
Maybe 2 whiskers. 1-2 on Ian Happ. A ball and 2 strikes on the Cubs left fielder. Here comes Senga. He misses outside, and the count now 2-2.
Coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud partner of the Chicago Cubs.
7-game homestand beginning today. Here's the 2-2 to Happ. Inside 3-2. 3-day games against the Mets. The Phillies come in on Monday night and play 3 night games and a day game next Thursday. Go to CUBS.com for ticket info. Now the payoff pitch, check swing, it's down low, no swing. That's ball 4. Happ was behind in the count 0-2 and ends up getting a base on balls. Here is Seiya Suzuki.
He did a good job of laying off some of them split fingers away and down and away. In that last one, he had a lot of the plate. It was just low. Very good take by Ian.
So we've made our guesses in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. I guess we need Rich Wyatt's guess, our engineer. And Seiya swings and misses.
I'm going to go 35,000, Pat.
Very good. That was the voice of Rich White that you heard on Cubs radio. Now the set for the 0-1. Swing and a miss.
Send that invoice to Rosen. Mitch Rosen.
Are there some union rules there if an engineer actually makes an on-air contribution?
None whatsoever.
No,
it's none of our business. Of course, that doesn't stop us. Here comes the 0-2.
Ever.
It's down low for a ball. 1-2. Great to see our executive producer, Mitch Rosen, at the ballpark earlier today.
And Ryan Porth, they're here earlier today.
Somehow he keeps everything organized. I don't know how he does it. Here's the 1-2. Pop fly shallow right. It's going to be playable for Benj. And he makes the catch, and that's going to be out number 1. Happ still at first. Cubs lead 6-3 in the third, and the batter is Ballesteros.
Just that little breaking ball. They call it a sweeper. And, you know, when I was looking at film this morning, it has the break at times of more like a traditional slider. And I think what happens is, depending on the speed that he throws it, it can break a little more or a little less, depending on the velocity.
Ballesteros swings and misses. Moises hit an opposite field 3-run homer in the first. It remains the biggest blow of the game. And that wind is still blowing toward left and now left center a little bit, it looks like. Happ a short lead at first. Ballesteros takes a strike on the outside, 0-2. Cleanup hitters for the Cubs, sponsored by Chicago's appliance leader, Grand Appliance. Get your all-star Frigidaire kitchen today at grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance, they've been with us for a while. A couple of different stints as a sponsor. Great stuff at Grand Appliance. Here comes the 0-2. Looper, shallow right field. That's going to be a base hit. Picking it up on the first bounce is Benj. Ballesteros is 2 for 2. And now, if you're Ballesteros, Ron, you were in this spot. You hit a 3-run homer your first time up. You get a single the next time. You think, this is going to be a pretty good day.
Yeah, we're doing good right now. Yeah, big smiles over there at first base. And, and then for a young guy, too, I always feel like this, guys that are young in the league, the confidence just starts soaring in game, right? Meeting on the mound with pitching coach and the interpreter out to talk this thing up.
And it doesn't take long for young players who join the Cubs to realize this is the day you want to be a hitter at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
It plays 2 parks in one. With the wind blowing in when it's cold, it's one park. Today, the wind is blowing out. It's a completely different ballpark.
That's right.
And here is Carson Kelly. Kelly fly to right his first time. Cubs lead 6-3, have 2 men on with 1 away. And the right-hander Kodai Senga. A long set, calls time. And now a pitch clock violation called on Kodai Senga. And Kodai looked a little mystified as to why that was called on him. And here comes the 1-0 set. And the pitch to Carson Kelly. Check swing, it's a strike.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd one after a meeting on the mound, and then you get that pitch clock violation. That is kind of an odd one.
Cubs looking for their 3rd straight win. Kelly hits a ground ball to 3rd. Charging, gloving is Bichette. Go to 2nd, 1 over to 1st. That's an inning-ending double play. Cubs don't score. It's on to inning number 4. Cubs 6, Mets 3.
It was a defensive play so iconic that we simply call it the catch.
This is the glove Willie Mays had when he made that catch. This is great.
Oakland pitcher Dave Stewart was named the World Series MVP.
It really comes from like the kings of Siam would give their courtiers white elephants, which were sacred animals.
They need to know this story. That's amazing.
Nobody could steal a base like Ricky.
I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
So imagine making steals in these stuff.
So these are Thai Cubs.
These are Thai Cubs.
So what I want to know is, were they ever swabbed for the DNA of opposing pitchers?
Roberts is no stranger to stolen bases himself.
That's what makes it special, is that everybody knew he was going to steal.
Roberts is going. Safe.
You know what they say? One great play deserves another.
Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv.
Well, we certainly served it up over the plate. This is a burger fit for a home run king, the 99 burger in honor of Aaron Judge. They sell a bazillion of these at Yankee Stadium. It looks pretty good. I feel like we passed the test. What about you?
I think so.
Frigidaire and more. Visit grandappliance.com for full details.
Guys, this season the Out-of-Town Scoreboard is sponsored by Club Citgo. Download the Club Citgo app. Save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. There's only one game currently going on in Major League Baseball. It's the one right here at Wrigley Field, Pat. The Cubs with a 6-3 lead over the Mets as we get set for the top of the fourth.
All right, Zach. Edward Cabrera on the mound for the Cubs. He'll go to work on Francisco Alvarez, M.J. Melendez, and Marcus Semien, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. First pitch here in the fourth inning is taken inside by Alvarez. Looking at some of the notes around big league ball, I see where the Angels hammered the Yankees in New York yesterday 11-4. Mike Trout, what a series he had. Historic. 5 homers in a 4-game series. Here's a roll to the third. Scooped up by Bregman. Sets himself running throw in time. Pretty good play by Bregman, out number 1.
Yeah, that's an excellent play. He rounds this ball like a shortstop would. And he knows he's got time with the catcher running and makes a really nice play. How about that?
Mike Trout, a 5-homer series?
5-homer series against the Bombers?
Ron, it says here he is the first ever to do that, having 5 homers in the Bronx against the Yankees in a single series.
Wow.
And they've been playing in the Bronx for many, many, many seasons.
That extra incentive. He's a Jersey guy, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's exactly right.
New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm. He joined 3 other sluggers with 5 homers in a series against the Yankees, either in New York or in the other team's ballpark. And it's quite a list. Jimmy Fox was the first to do it back in 1933. Darrell Evans, the left-handed batter who played for the Tigers and the Giants for a while back in the 80s. He did it in 1985. And George Bell in 1990. But how about one series as Melendez takes ball 4? How about 5 homers and 9 RBIs in one series, Ron? That works.
That will, yeah. That makes for a happy plane flight when you're leaving New York, doesn't it?
And they won the game yesterday 11-4, hammering the Yanks. Now the right-handed batting Semien, the batter, doubled to drive in a run his first time. Swings and misses, 0-1.
First out in the inning, sponsored by Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Xfinity, imagine that.
See where Cleveland rookie left-hander Parker Messick came within 3 outs of a no-hitter against Baltimore yesterday. Fastball inside, 0-1. Make it 1-1. There's not been a no-hitter since September the 4th of 2024. And you remember, Ron, we saw the game. The last Major League Baseball no-hitter. It was right here at Wrigley. It was a combined no-hitter with Shota Imanaga and 4 relievers in a game late in the season against the Pirates here at Wrigley. Now the 2-1 pitch to Simeon, and he'll take outside. The sun now shining brightly. Still breezy, wind blowing out toward left. But Messick took a no-hitter into the 9th inning, allowed a 9th inning single to. Here's a swing and a miss. Is it Toledo Taveras?
Did it say in that article how many pitches he had going into the 9th?
It does not. I think he was right around 100 though.
So that's the big thing now. The reason why, the no-hitter is going to be such a difficult thing is everybody, that pitch count is such a big thing.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, throw to second, strike him out, throw him out, double play. Good throw by Kelly, good tag by Nico Horner. It's a strikeout and a 2-4 caught stealing. Double play ends the inning. Mets don't score. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Cubs 6, New York.
I'm going to go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh, yeah.
Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of basic ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
And some
crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
And it's 7 shutout innings for Jeffrey Springs.
Can't say enough about what Jeffrey Springs has done.
3 on, 2 out, 1-1 game. The payoff pitch, ground ball, right side, base hit, right field. Walder scores. Here comes Caratini. He will score. Biggest swing of the year for Brooks Lee.
Up the middle, and Junior is right there. Wow! Finney picks it on the right side.
You just won't see a better play than the one that Bobby Witt Jr. just demonstrated us tonight.
Sent to center, Dane Myers, the former Marlins deep retreat, extends and makes the play. Oh, a crazy crash into the padded wall.
A spectacular catch by Myers in straightaway center field.
Don't do that to a former teammate.
Bogey to deep left field. It's back. Slam Diego to walk it off. Bogey goes boom into a sea of San Diegans.
Download the Great Clips app or check in online at greatclips.com. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Guys, Spiegel and Holmes talk Cubs baseball on Chicago Sports every weekday from 2 to 6 on 104.3 The Score and the Odyssey app.
Pete Armstrong will lead off the Cubs' 4th inning and take outside. Cubs on top 6-3. Pete grounded out to first his first time up. He hits one high in the air, center field. Battling the sun is Robert, and the center fielder makes the catch. Luis Robert Jr. had the glove held up trying to block out the sun as he tried to locate the ball and did a good job to make the play.
It's one of those balls hit very high and straightaway center, and the sun really an issue. Robert with glasses and shading with the glove, trying to use the glove to help protect his eyes, and it's not an easy play at all.
Dansby Swanson, the batter. Dansby had a base on balls and scored a run his first time. He'll take a strike. But again, Parker Messick, rookie left-hander for Cleveland, allowed a base hit to Leody Taveras of Baltimore in the 9th inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Dansby takes low and in. The article Ron said Cleveland has the longest current gap between no-hitters. You have to go back to May 15 of 1981 when Len Barker pitched a perfect game for the Indians against Toronto. Bouncer to the whole left side. A scrambling stop by Bichette. His throw to first not in time. Bichette left his feet to make a sliding stop, the third baseman. That's a very tough play to make, Ron.
Well, and it's the only chance they had of coming close to throwing out Dansby. It's a really good play by two guys. It's a great play by Bichette in showing his range and making a strong throw, and it's great hustle by Dansby to beat the throw. So you want to look at good baseball. That was good baseball all the way around the horn.
That's going to be all for Kodai Senga. He will lead the game after 3+ innings, and we are going to take a timeout. Pitching changes.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
Just as hard to hit homers in this ballpark. There's a drive. I don't care how big the park is. This one is gone. Touch 'em all time. His first major league home run. T.J. Rumfield. First homer of the year for the Rockies. They take a 1-0 lead.
Roof open, roof closed. That would not have mattered. That sounded like a cannon coming off of the bat. Good for him.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
There's the bunt. That could be trouble as Petrie. No, Stevie dives in and beats it. Good effort by Steve Lyons.
For the New York Mets, he will inherit a runner at first with one away in the bottom of this 4th inning. Nico Horner due up, and Kodai Senga works 3 1/3 before his departure. But again, it's a very tough day to pitch. I don't recall Senga run pitching many other games at Wrigley, if any, in conditions like this. And that's really very common to struggle your first time in these conditions as a pitcher.
Well, you just hear, the guys come in after batting practice, and all the hitters, all they can do is chirp about, just general talk. Oh, is the ball flying here? Oh, it's a great day to hit. Oh, can't wait. Well, the pitcher's hearing that. That doesn't make it much fun as you're going to take the mound.
Here's Nico taking a fastball strike. Huascar spells his first name Huascar. So the HU becomes a W sound. Here comes the 0-1 from Huascar. Short lead by Swanson, not running. Nico swings and misses, 0-2.
Pretty good change there.
Warner with a 2-run homer his last time up. That gives him 3 homers and 20 RBIs. Leads the team in RBIs by a wide margin. Here comes the next pitch. Way outside. Good save by the catcher Alvarez. Just chuckling a little bit reading that story about the Indians having the longest current gap between no-hitters. That the writer actually painstakingly figured out that it was a number of days of 7,055 days. Throw to first, not in time. That had to take some time to research that. And that's a long drought. It's the 4th longest in Major League Baseball history for a franchise to go between no-hitters. Here comes the 1-2. Big chopper toward third. Going to be a tough play, and there's no play. It's an infield single for Nico. That ball must have hit right down off of home plate. It took a kangaroo bounce way up in the air. And Nico gets his second hit. Safe at second is Swanson. With one away, the Cubs have a scoring chance for Michael Busch.
Yeah, this ball is hit straight down on the front edge of home plate and goes way up in the air. Bichette no play as he just has to wait for this ball to come down. Years ago, they used to call that the Baltimore chop. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a real chop right there.
For all you 16-inch softball players here in Chicago that used to play, that ball that you chop right down in front of home plate, that's exactly what that was.
Busch hits a ground ball right side. Off the glove of the first baseman. His throw to second, not in time. And everybody is safe. Strange play. The ball bounced to the right side off the glove of a diving Beatty, the first baseman. It then caromed to the second baseman, Simeon. He realized he had no play at first with his first baseman out of the play after diving. So he threw to second, but he made a high throw. And safe there was Horner. So the Cubs have the bases loaded, and they have a chance to build up a comfortable lead right now, Ron.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that's just, it's a very difficult play for Simeon at second base because you're not expecting to catch that ball. Then all of a sudden it's deflected at you, and you haven't done anything to get your footwork in that in proper position. So now all of a sudden you're just worried about catching the deflection. Now you've got to readjust your feet to make a throw. Very tough play, and it ends up being a base hit. And for Michael Busch, you need some good things to happen. And now, things are one out. The Cubs get the bases loaded again.
Cubs already leading 6-3. This could be a potential turning point right now as Alex Bregman steps in. Mets keep the infield back. Bregman has singled and struck out. Bases full of Cubs. Cubs lead 6-3. Bregman takes outside. Bregman, a very patient hitter. Wouldn't surprise me if he took until he threw him a strike here. Now the 1-0 from Huascar. Swing and a miss.
He was trying to make a 4-point shot right there. That one was looking for the street.
Big crowd ready to make some noise in this inning. The 1-1. Bregman lines one, caught by the shortstop Lindor, and the runners scamper back to their bags. Lindor moving toward the hole, caught it at chest level, out number 2.
Good job of base running by the guys second and third to not getting picked off. That's one of those where you take your secondary lead, the ball's hammered. If you take one more real strong step going forward, you're going to get thrown behind, and it's going to be a double play. But the guys did a good job of staying put.
Ian Happ hits a ground ball, bobbled, and everybody's going to be safe. A run scores. Error on the first baseman, Beatty. He tried to short hop it. It bounced off of his body and rolled over towards second base. Everybody is safe. That'll be E3. Cubs lead 7-3, and the inning keeps on going for Seiya Suzuki.
Now Beatty gets his, we talk about this as infielders. He got his feet kind of stuck. He didn't, if you move forward for that ball, you catch it on a longer hop. If you move backwards, you catch it on a long hop. He got stuck staying in the same spot, and it played into being an in-between hop, and that ball just ate him alive.
Seiya Suzuki, the batter. Bag still loaded. Cubs lead 7-3 with 2 outs. There is a strike. Errors by the opponents. Sponsored by North Shore Adult Diapers. For even the heaviest control problems. Visit, I beg your pardon? Visit NorthShore.com. Sounded like a satisfied customer. The next pitch a little bit outside for a ball. 1-1. 1-1. Bags loaded, a run in. Now Huascar Brazaban ready and delivers. Low and inside, 2-1. He might get something to hit right here. I can't imagine a pitcher wanting to go 3-1 in these conditions, in this circumstance.
Yeah, I would agree to that. See if Suzuki gets something he can pull into that win.
Low for ball 3, 3-1. How are you approaching this one?
I'm looking for a ball. I'm looking for a fastball that I can get the head of the bat out to the baseball and hit this ball out in front of home plate and try to drive one to the bleachers.
Here's a bouncing ball foul past third. Suzuki just a little too quick on the swing. Now slight advantage Cubs. The runners will be moving with the delivery. Bases loaded, full count, 2 down. We've got about as far as we can go. And the pitch. Seiya takes strike 3 call. Suzuki out on strikes. Cubs settle for 1. 1 run on 3 hits in the inning. 1 error. It's an unearned run.
That's my security right there. That's the bad one, Roscoe Pico train.
Major League Baseball wanted to start doing something with the players and their dogs.
Which one's the dog?
I was undecided on whether to do a dog card or not, but my wife pushed me in the back and she wanted the famous dog, so she told me to do it.
All right, so here's the Mets home jersey. To me, growing up in New York, also a very iconic jersey. The blue pinstripes that represented the Dodgers. Got the orange outline, which represented the Giants, which are the 2 teams that left New York. And then subsequently, the Mets were created. You know, my parents were Mets fans growing up, and this was the jersey that I also dreamed of wearing.
Hurley's had a good day. 2 hits for him. Swing and a drive. Belted right. Burley admires that one. She is long gone. Is it too early to say, holy cow? I think it is right on time. The Cardinals strike again. Tucson with 2 strikes. That ball was absolutely destroyed.
What a 6th inning. Goosebump moment here at the ballpark for everybody.
The official airline of your Chicago Cubs. And you can bet your sweet Cubbies we fly to their away games. Hint, hint.
Alongside Ron Coomer, Zach Zaidman with you. Top 5. Cubs with a 7-3 lead over the Mets as Edward Cabrera starts off Brett Beatty with a changeup for a strike right down the middle at 93 miles per hour. The next pitch by Cabrera is a bouncing ball hit on the right side, fielded on a shoulder-high hop by Horner. His throw to first in time. Beatty's retired, 1 away here in the 5th. The first out, sponsored by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at 1 price for 5 years. Xfinity, imagine that.
And you love getting those quick outs. In a day like today, 1-2 pitches, you get a little rollover ground ball.
Tyrone Taylor at the plate. He looks at a strike changeup. 0-1. 95 miles per hour right along the outside edge, about knee high. The next pitch is another called strike. A breaking ball that floated into the zone. 0-2. The key there in what you talked about, Coom, ground ball.
Yeah,
that's what you want on a day like today.
Keep that ball out of the air. So we've seen the ball really carrying here at Wrigley Field to the middle of the diamond in the left field.
The 0-2 is low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count on Taylor, a right-handed batter. At first pitch, they said a 15-mile-per-hour wind out to left. I think it's harder than that at the moment.
I would agree.
Taylor swings and misses. Strike 3. Cabrera gets him with a slider. 2 away.
Good pitch. Little breaking ball down and away. This ball has great movement. It starts out outside corner and then goes down and away. Good slider. I think that's the first punch out for Cabrera with the slider. Today he's gotten a couple with the change.
Carson Benj looks at a breaking ball for a strike. 0-1. 4 strikeouts on the afternoon for Cabrera, who faces home plate, works on the first base side of the rubber. The wind-up and pitch is up high. 1-1 now on Benj.
Coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud partner of the Chicago Cubs.
The 1-1. That's a called strike. Change up. 94 miles per hour. 1-2 on Benj. Rookie right fielder, left-handed batter. The pitch. Low. Curve that missed. Count even at 2-2.
I'm sorry, Zeke.
Going to say strikeouts by Cubs pitchers are brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. And the 2-2. Benj hits one up the middle and through past a diving Swanson for a base hit. That may have clipped the pitcher Cabrera. He's up and moving around, but trainer Nick Frangella and manager Craig Counsell headed out to the mound. Did you see where it got him?
I don't know if it hit him or if him getting out of the way and falling and hitting the ground was the issue. I'm not quite sure. To be honest with you, I know he landed kind of awkwardly on his hip, and this is a big guy that's falling down. This ball hit right back through the middle, and yeah, he hits on his left hip, but I'm not quite sure if the ball hit him. It just kind of skinned him.
He's taking a practice pitch.
Put the radar gun on that practice pitch is 97. First out in the inning, sponsored by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Xfinity, imagine that.
So I guess 96 MPH tells you he's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so 2 down. Carson Benj at first. He's got excellent speed, being held on by Bush. The batter is Bo Bichette. Cabrera sets at the belt. He kicks and delivers. Inside, almost hit Bichette with a sinking fastball that didn't sink. 96 MPH. 1-0 the count. Benj has a big lead off the first base bag. A long set by Cabrera. And the 1-0. Bichette hammers one. Oh, diving stop to his left by Nico on the outfield grass. And a throw to first in time to get Bichette. What a beautiful play by Nico to snag the one-hopper. Out number 3. And Benj stranded on the bases. Middle 5. It's the Cubs with a 7-3 lead over the Mets. On the score in the Northwest.
Yogi Berra was an 18-time All-Star and 10-time World Series champion.
This is the only perfect game in World Series history. You ask him about it, and he would say, it ain't been done before, and it ain't been done since.
David Wells was perfect on May 17th, 1998. Beanie Baby Day.
It's not the pitcher that's calling the game, it's the catcher calling what pitch to throw.
Home plate is 17 inches wide. And so he said, well, if it's more than an inch, and it was a lot more than an inch, then it's an illegal bat.
Well, he is. He's out. Yes, sir. It is out. Look at this.
Keep it down a little, will you, please?
Okay, Yogi.
Casey Stengel and the other touring ball players met the King of England.
Of course, with my English, we had a little trouble understanding each other.
As Yogi said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game, post-game, and everything in between. This is baseball your way, with real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
Let's go. Receive an exclusive Cubs Bragu bobblehead. Don't miss out on this offer. New man on the mound for the Mets to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Left-hander Sean Manaea takes over. So the Cubs send Matt Shaw to the plate to pinch hit. Shaw looks at a strike, a fastball from Manaea. 0-1. Shaw pinch hitting for Moises Ballesteros, who was 2 for 2 with a home run. Breaking ball, line down the left field line. It drops foul off the sidewall.
The way Shaw took off, I thought that was going to land fair, but it just kept hooking against the wall.
It's that wind, right? Blowing out
sure
to left.
Could be, yeah. Usually a hitter knows when you hook one or slice one whether it's going to be close. But I think you're right. I think the wind kind of played tricks with that ball.
Here's the 0-2. This is fouled back off the screen to the right. Manaea grew up in Northwest Indiana as an upperclassman. Went to high school in Merrillville. The pitch. That one skips past Shaw, almost hit him. Shaw ended up on his stomach right near home plate.
Yeah. I mean, pitch was almost thrown behind him, a breaking ball. And then when you move your feet, it seems like you're moving your feet right into the ball, but it did not hit him, but it hit right where his feet were. He got him out of the way.
That's some nifty athleticism. Yeah. 1-2 the count on Shaw. Manaea, high leg kick and pitch. Shaw swings and misses. Strike 3. He chased a fastball. 1 away.
Zach, I got a birthday wish here. One of our good friends here in Chicago with Wilson Equipment Company, who I had a contract with for years. Scott Paulson's mom today, 91 years old, Roberta Paulson, and they are listening today. So happy birthday, Roberta. 91 years old, listening to Cubs radio today. So happy birthday to her. And you couldn't have asked for a better day for her birthday, could you?
Oh, man. Temperature in the 70s. Mostly sunny. Roberta, may this be your best year yet. Year number 91. Here's the 1-0 to Carson Kelly. High and outside. 2-0 the count.
Save me some of that birthday cake now.
Cubs with a 7-3 lead over the Mets here with 1 down in the bottom of the 5th. The next pitch up high to Kelly. 3-0. All opponent pitching changes are sponsored by Sloan, the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs and leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions. Learn more at sloan.com. The 3-0 to Kelly is a called strike fastball. 3-1. That one was right along the outside edge, thigh high. Manaea, the lefty, works on the third base side of the rubber. He rocks back and deals. And Kelly swings. It's a line drive, shallow right, racing in Bench. He dives and makes the catch. 2 away. An excellent play in right by Carson Bench.
Well, he gets a good jump on this ball and the perfect angle and route, because if you take one off step, whether you go to your, let's say you go to your left one step and come in, you don't make that catch. But he makes a very good catch coming in. Very difficult play for an outfielder to come straight in and dive for the ball, but nice play.
Now the batter, Pete Crow Armstrong. Here's the pitch from Manaea. It's high and inside with a fastball, 1-0. 2 down, bottom 5, 7-3 Cubs. Moises Ballesteros, a 3-run shot in the first. Nico Horner, a 2-run job in the second. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike to PCA. A fastball on the outside edge near the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. The pitch. Low and outside, 2-1. Nico's got 2 more hits today. The pitch. Called strike. Fastball from Manaea. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on PCA. That one was right down the middle. The next pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove, strike 3. Cubs go down in order in the 5th. After 5, 7-3 Cubs over the Mets.
Kader Montero gets a ground ball to short. That's McGonigal with a long throw. Oh, man, target hit.
Ronald Acuna Jr. hits it high, deep, and gone. His first of the year ties the game.
Chris Bubich continues his brilliance tonight. 11 strikeouts in 7 scoreless innings.
Shoots to deep right center field. It's back! A 3-run home run to walk it off. Second straight night for San Diego. Holy sheets! Or how about just end the night? Max Muncy with a hat trick.
Maxwell swinging the silver hammer. His second career 3-home run game. And the Dodgers victorious tonight, 8-7.
A snack that Freddie cannot resist.
I would have to say chips and guacamole. Organic mango, yep.
Is that because of the strong Dominican contingent in the major leagues, bro? Has anybody ever struck out and gone crazy and smashed the cooler full of mangoes?
Nah.
Donor. Northwestern Medicine made the process seamless for both of us, including speaking to my mom in Spanish.
Top 10 in the nation for transplant volume, Francisco's living donor team removed part of his liver for his mom's transplant. Northwestern Medicine has saved the most lives through organ transplant in Illinois and its surrounding states. Northwestern Medicine. Better. Learn more at nm.org/transplant.
Fans know a steal when they see one, like tuxedos and suits from Suits 2020 in Niles. Why rent when you can own for about the same price? Schedule your free fitting at Suits2020.com.
7-3 Cubs, top of the 6th inning. Let's see what's on tap here in the 6th inning. Sponsored by Flight by Yingling, Next Generation Life Beer. And Pat, as we were at break, he said Cabrera's still out there. He's only at 73 pitches now in the ball game. So he has been very good so far in the first half of this game.
He had one tough stretch in the 2nd inning. Gave up 4 hits in a 5-batter span. But outside of that run, he's been outstanding. Yeah. This is not an easy day to pitch at all. Francisco Lindor fouls one away. 1-1 on Lindor. Lindor with a double. Also bounced into a double play. The Mets with an 8-game skid. And we're just getting started in this 3-game series. Day games tomorrow and Sunday. Swing and a miss by Lindor. Good breaking ball, 1-2. I'm looking at the scorebook run. I see 1 base on balls issued by Cabrera today. That's not bad.
No, not at all.
The 1-2 high fly ball, right field, shallow. Blocking out the sun with his glove is Suzuki and making the catch. That's one you learn as a young ball player. If you're playing where there are going to be fly balls, you put up that glove and block out the sun and wait for the ball to appear.
No.
Usually it works.
Yeah, it does.
One away.
I was never a fan of the flip down glasses. Guys wear regular sunglasses now in the field, which I like. I'm sure you wore the flip downs when we were young. Sure. We all had them, right? And had them in minor league baseball at the beginning of a minor league career.
Now the 0-1 pitch to Luis Robert Jr. Line drive. Leaping catch by Nico Hoerner at second base. Nico has made a couple of very nice plays. Made a great play that Zach called for you back in the 5th inning. And now there are 2 outs here in the 6th, and the batter, Francisco Alvarez.
I think Cabrera's had his fill of balls back through the middle. Just a guess. He had that ball sizzling back at him that just missed him. That one went right over his head.
Breaking ball to Alvarez inside.
I'd be like throwing some pitches at the hitter. How do you like it?
See if we can see what the matchups are like for the balance of the series. Jamison Tyone against Freddie Peralta tomorrow. Peralta traded by Milwaukee Over the offseason, the Mets traded some prospects to the Brewers. Peralta due to become a free agent at season's end. Fastball is high, and that's the primary reason he was traded by Milwaukee. They weren't sure if they'd be able to sign him or not. They might make an effort to, but to make sure that they got something in return for his services before he became a free agent, they traded him a year early, which is very common.
Well, and Milwaukee, has a history of that. Quite a few players over the last 5 years or so.
Alvarez takes down low. It's a 2-out walk. And the batter, M.J. Melendez. Only the second walk issued by Edward Cabrera. Cubs scored 6 runs early, Ron, in this game and still lead 7-3.
Just thinking about the point you just made, but for smaller market teams to stay right in it, if you're going to lose the guy or you really don't think you can compete with contract offers from other clubs.
There's a drive into right center, a base hit. And going first to third on the play is the runner Alvarez. Melendez with a sharp single. With 2 down, the Mets have men at first and third. And it brings up Marcus Semien.
Little changeup from Cabrera there, and it stays right in the middle of the plate. Starts out inside and fades to the middle. Ball is hit pretty sharply to right field. But I think when you look at this, it's Tommy Hotovy going to the mound to talk to Cabrera. That's how they keep replenishing these guys that we're seeing over and over in Milwaukee. They've made some good moves, and they're using the guys that they've, traded for that are young. They got rid of some real star players, but, they keep battling and they keep winning, no doubt.
They've won the division 3 consecutive years. It's not easy to do that, especially when you're a small market team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we continue, 10 seconds for station ID. This is The Score and the Northwestern Medicine Cubs Radio Network.
Spiegel and Holmes talking Cubs afternoons 2 to 6 on 104.3 The Score. This is the Northwestern Medicine Cubs Radio Network, WSCR, WSCR FM, and HD1 Chicago.
Marcus Semien the batter, 2 outs, 2 on. Semien takes high. Cabrera knows he is near the end of his day of work. He's at 85 pitches for the day. The 1-0 pitch. Check swing. That's a foul at the plate. And it's 1-1.
One of our friends and fellow broadcasters who we're going to see here in another week, Rick Monday, just texted me. They are in Colorado. And he sent me a picture of downtown Denver. There's snow everywhere.
Was that right?
He said, enjoy the weather.
Did you text him back? Let's play 2.
Oh, yeah.
There's a swing and a foul back.
Laugh out loud, like, you're due for some good weather like that. Being in L.A. where it's, 75 and sunny just about every day. Our friend Mo, I'm sure, is very happy about that snow.
We don't want to antagonize him, though.
I would never try to do that.
He drives us home after the games, back to the hotel. And
kind of like that, don't you?
Very valuable guy to keep on your good side, absolutely. 2-2. He is a great guy.
Oh, yeah. Great Cub. Yeah.
I like when he saved the flag from those knuckleheads on the field that day. They were going to burn the flag. And he said, nope, not here.
Yeah.
Not in front of me. Two balls and 2 strikes on Marcus Semien. Cubs lead 7-3. Runners take their leads first and third. Cabrera trying to end the inning. This will be his 90th pitch of the day. Riley Martin, a left-hander, throwing. And the stretch for the 2-2 to Semien. And here it comes. Swinging a foul back.
Got away with one there. That was a breaking ball. It ended up inner half to Semien. He put a big swing on it and fouled it straight back.
I'd like to see Cabrera get through this inning if at all possible. If Semien reaches. It might be his final batter. We'll see. Now the 2-2 on the way. Ripped on the ground to third. Glove by Bregman. Go to second. There's the force. That's the inning. 5-4 on the fielder's choice. 6 strong innings for Edward Cabrera. Nicely done by him.
Dominic Smith leads off for Atlanta.
Pitch on the way. Dominic Smith hammers one. A mile high, a mile deep, a majestic shot, and it's 2-0 Braves. What a display of power by Dominic Smith. A home run deep over the right field wall, and it's 2-0 Atlanta.
Boy, that was such a pretty swing. Dominic just pulls his hands in and gets the barrel to it, and that ball cleared the fence. I waved goodbye as it was going over. It was smoked.
Fast delivery and the lowest prices every day on top brands like Electrolux, Frigidaire, and more. Visit grandappliance.com for full details.
Dansby Swanson is on deck for the Cubs. Who's on Deck is sponsored by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit timbertech.com. Huh?
All right, Zach, this date in baseball history brought to you by villageofbedfordpark.com. It's time to make history for your business in Bedford Park. A couple of all-time greats made their debuts on this date in 1951. Mickey Mantle made his major league debut going 1 for 4 as the Yankees beat the Red Sox 5-0. And then 2 years later, Mantle hit a home run that was measured. And I've read about this, Ron. It's hard to imagine a ball being hit this far as Swanson swings and misses the count 0-2. How about 565 feet in Washington, D.C. in a game against the old Washington Senators? It's so far, it's almost like I would have to be there to believe that. Right? Here's a pop-up into shallow right. Going out is Semien to make the catch. One away in this inning, and back to the top of the order for Nico Horner.
Well, when I was playing in New York, they had a picture of one of the home runs he hit in old Yankee Stadium that went off of, the arches, arches in right field. I mean, he was one of those special guys that was like superhuman strength. When he hit a baseball, it just seemed like it never came down.
Roberto Clemente made his major league debut 1955 and had a base hit against Dodger pitcher Johnny Padres. Padres, a left-hander of yesteryear. Now here's one, 1969, the brand new franchise Montreal Expos, playing in only the 10th game in the history of their franchise. So one of their pitchers, a guy by the name of Bill Stoneman, pitch a no-hitter to beat the Phillies. What a thrill for him, and what a thrill for the young franchise.
Right? Isn't that something?
Yeah, the 1-2 curveball hit foul left side. That's what's happened on the 17th of April down through the years. Sammy Sosa had a game-winning home run on this date in 1996. As Nico takes outside, I remember this one. 10th inning off of a guy by the name of Johnny Ruffin. Right-hander for the Reds.
Johnny Ruffin was my teammate in Double-A in Birmingham.
Now the 2-2. Nico pokes it foul. And then finally, Chris Bryant made his major league debut on this date 11 years ago today.
Wow.
Wonder how much more playing Chris will do with the back issues that he's had, among other ailments. But I guess it's the back that's really been the primary problem. Here's a ground ball to the hole, base hit left field. Nico Hoerner is red hot right now. It's his third hit of the day. He drilled a 2-run homer earlier. He's got 10 RBIs in his last 3 games. And now he has his third hit today.
You remember that song, When You're Hot, You're Hot? He should have that as his walk-up music right now.
Jerry Reed.
Everything Nico hits is finding a hole, and when he hits it hard, it's leaving the yard.
Wasn't it Jerry Reed? Was that his name?
Right.
Now lefty to lefty. Michael Busch will take a check swing. It's inside for a ball. Jerry Reed was in those movies with Burt Reynolds and Sally Field. The next pitch, fly ball to left, shallow. Angling out the third baseman Bichette. Tough play and a sprawling catch by the left fielder Taylor. Over by the left field line. The 2 men almost collided. It would have been a very tough catch for Bichette, Ron, going away from a play like that. It's hard enough in the wind coming in. It's almost impossible going away, isn't it?
Yeah, Bichette really, he was not going to catch that ball if he was the only guy there. This is a play for the outfielders where on a day like today, you have to be very aggressive coming in on pop-ups as an outfielder because of that wind blowing out.
Now the left-hander Minaya facing Bregman. First pitch to Alex is a strike. Cubs lead 7-3. Now the set. And the lefty fires. Breaking ball in there for a call, strike 2.
A little backdoor hook from Minaya there to Bregman. A lot of times when you don't see that pitch from a guy very often, you give up on it. It looks like it's going to be way outside, and it comes back and clips the outside corner.
And the 0-2, way outside, almost a wild pitch. Alvarez, the catcher, had to reach up and flag it down.
First out, sponsored by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Xfinity, imagine that.
Bregman dribbles one foul. Zach Zaidman has an updated average on Nico Hoerner. What you got, Zach?
Well, with his third hit moments ago, Nico's now hitting .347 this season.
And 10 ribbies in his last 3 games. He's a leadoff hitter. Here's a little pop fly off the hands. And on the right side of the diamond, the second baseman Simeon makes the call and the catch. Cubs don't score. It's on to the 7th inning. Cubs 7, Mets 3 on the score, and the Northwestern.
Dig into some baseball bites that taste so good. Join Lauren Shahadi as the game's top chefs and baseball stars show off some big league eats that hit a home run with fans. Over the Plate, Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
Breaking ball lined into the gap in right center and in for a hit.
And that was a botch of what should have been a single.
It sure was. Went right off the heel of Teoscar Hernandez's glove when he boxed it.
I mean, Torkelson threw a baby overhand. He couldn't catch it.
How about that? First ball to the rookie making his major league debut. He loses it in the sun.
Diving catch. Cole Young taking a hit away.
Leaps up at the top of the fence, and he makes the catch.
The sweet relief of defensive redemption.
Tagging and going to third is Dominic Smith. Here comes a throw. Got him!
All the way to the wall, and Trout makes the catch at the top of the fence. Gorman, nice pick. 360 spin. How about that play?
Well, you talk about good defense right there.
And Schneemann caught it. Schneemann was right there to clean it up. That's lined into right field, and Shaw makes a tumbling catch.
Orange Butler at the wall, finally able to rob a hit.
Diving stop, Miguel Rojas, no way.
Sliding play by Turner. Gets to his feet, throws in time. What a
Jackson makes a terrific running catch. Up the middle, and he's got it. Justin Robleski pitching the game of his life here.
Getting set for the top of the 7th here at Wrigley Field, the opener of a 3-game set between the Cubs and Mets, and it's the Cubs with a 7-3 lead. We're coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud partner of the Chicago Cubs. Pat?
All right, Zach, thank you. 7th inning at Wrigley. Breezy, warm, 71 degrees at game time. Still feels about 70 or 71, I would say. Game has settled down after the early barrage of offense. Here's a swing and a base hit up the middle by Mark Vientos. It's a leadoff single. Riley Martin, pitching for the Cubs with a man on now, has to go to work on Tyrone Taylor. Brett Beatty with the leadoff single. Beatty at first to be held by Bush. And now Taylor waiting. And the pitch on the way. He bunts toward third. Might be a tough play. Bregman bare hands. Throws to first. Gets in. What a beautiful play by Alex Bregman, the Cub third baseman. Run. You can't do it much better than that.
Well, the Cubs showing their defensive skills off in this ball game. Nico's made 2 really nice plays. Bregman's made a great play. And, you know, on days like today, making those defensive plays and the tough ones, yeah, as we've talked about many times, stand out. And can't make that play much better than Bregman did on that bunt. Bare hand and fire across the diamond.
Martin now facing the left-handed batter. And the first offering is going to be taken low and outside for a ball. Carson Benj, the left-handed batting outfielder, takes down low. Benj is 1 for 3. I understand when he gets hot, they say Benj is on a binge. And now the 2-0 swing and a miss.
We say in our booth, top of your game today.
And now the stretch for the 2-1 on the way. Foul back, and it's 2-2.
But I guess when you're a Hall of Famer, you're kind of always at the top of your game, right? I think that kind of goes with getting that HOF after your name.
Not necessarily. No. This job is too humbling. So easy to make mistakes. Of course, you wouldn't know about that. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A foul off to the left, out of play.
Not having the HOF after my name tells you I understand exactly what you mean.
You have to always remember you are live as a baseball announcer. You don't get that second take that you do when you're recording commercials. Here's a breaking ball outside, 3-2. And now a challenge. The Cubs are challenging. They thought that pitch was good. Was it? Yes, it was. That's strike 3. That's a good challenge by Carson Kelly, the Cub catcher. Nicely done.
Little breaking ball from Martin, and this, you know, half the ball's in the strike zone, so a very good challenge. It's a good breaking pitch that catches that corner.
Cubs pitching changes, and again, Riley Martin now doing the pitching. Here's a swing and a foul by Bo Bichette, out of play. The Cubs pitching changes. Those are brought to you by James Hardy Building Products. Siding with the Cubs. Some James Hardy people are here, and they have been in the booth at various times today. And we thank them for being here, and thanks for being a great sponsor. As Bo Bichette fouls it away. Martin throwing strikes, ahead 0-2.
And that's the thing he has done. He's got a very good arm, good velocity on his heater. And he comes in and he is on the attack. He really is. He's done a very nice job for Craig Counsell and the Cubs.
And now Martin's pitch. Line to right on the run and making the catch is Suzuki over toward the line. A hard hit ball, but it's out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Cubs enjoying a 7-3 lead. And guest conductors, Ariana McGee and Nyla Weathersby. Take it away.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Okay, guys.
Hey, Chicago, this is Alex.
Homered in the first, his 3rd leadoff home run in the postseason. Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani! Wow! Up and over the roof! A majestic blast! Ohtani drops jaws everywhere! And it's 4-0 Dodgers!
117 off the bat, 469 feet. He is the first Dodger to ever have 2 multi-home run games in the same postseason.
Time for the great mascot race. Ready? Go! And they're off. They're neck and neck. Look at them go. It's a wild crowd. It's the home stretch. It's too close to call. It's the play at the plate. It's the Philly fanatic. Congratulations. You won the great mascot race.
Benjamin Moore, official paint of the Chicago Cubs.
Cubs lead 7-3. Ian Happ, batting right-handed, will pop one up foul and out of play, right side. Manaea still on the mound for the Mets. The left-hander came on during the 5th inning. Happ is 0 for 2. Struck out, had a base on balls, and then reached on an error. He hits a fly ball into left center. Converging are Taylor and Robert Jr. Taylor, the left fielder, with an easy grab, and that's out number 1. I'll tell you who did a very nice job today. Cubs starting pitcher Edward Cabrera.
Yeah.
He is in line to be the winning pitcher if the Cubs can hang on to this lead, but he is still kind of learning, Ron. It's his first year with the Cubs. I would say so far so good. He's pitched in real cold weather, and now he's pitched in warm, windy weather, and he looks good.
Yeah, he had the 1 inning in the 2nd inning where he gave up some hits, but you're giving up hits and you're throwing strikes, and boy, he really settled in then with the change, a good breaking ball, but I agree with you. He is, Cub fans are going to love watching him pitch here through the years.
Seiya Suzuki drove in a run with a 1st inning single. He takes up and in. He's 1 for 3.
7th inning stretch today was sponsored by Volvo XC90. Room for everyone, ready for wherever the road takes you. It's Volvo XC90.
And now the 1-2. Inside for a ball. Ron, in researching some information before the game, I came across a story regarding the new automated ball strike system that was employed for the first time this year in big league ball. Liner down the right field line, a base hit. It's going to scoot all the way into the corner. Extra base knock for Seiya. He's around second. He's going to hold there with a double. And I think he made a good choice. 2 base hit with 1 away. Cubs lead by 4, trying to add to their lead.
Boy, nice piece of hitting by Seiya, shooting that ball the other way down that right field line. Doubles by Cubs batters, sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Reliable, comfortable, convenient. Southwest just makes sense.
It's a double for Seiya, his 2nd hit of the day, and here's Matt Shaw.
You had a story you read today?
But Ron, it said the new ABS system, automated ball strike system, there have been more walks so far early in the season. Here's a drive into deep right field. Back goes Benj. Back near the wall, off the wall. Rounding third, heading home is Seiya. He will score on a double. And that's Shaw. And the Cubs lead 8-3. He hit it a ton. I thought it might leave the yard, but it hit the wall on the fly near the 368 sign in right center field.
Yeah, ball well struck. It might have got pushed more towards center just a little bit with that wind blowing out to left, but well struck back-to-back doubles here in the 7th for the Cubs.
Shaw with the RBI. Cubs have their biggest lead of the day, 8-3. And it brings up Carson Kelly. And the left-hander Manaya delivers to Carson a strike. But it says so far, and it's very early, we're in the embryonic stage of this marathon known as a baseball season. But there have been more walks per game so far by a wide margin. In fact, it says it's baseball's highest rate of walks in decades, which I found very surprising, really. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Carson Kelly. It's outside. Is that maybe just a fluke, or maybe it's such a small sample size that we shouldn't get too excited about it yet, Ron?
I'm not sure. I think, what ends up happening now is, that ball strike thing, they're getting it right now no matter what you do.
Bouncer toward the middle. That's going to be backhanded by the second baseman, Simeon. A jump throw to first, not in time. Simeon made the jump throw, almost an awkward play for an infielder, and he took Vientos off the first base bag. Vientos tried to tag the batter Kelly going by, but he got the safe call.
Kind of an interesting play as Vientos swings the glove and misses Kelly. Kelly never does step on the first base bag going down the line. He goes past the bag, slams on the brakes, and comes back to the bag and then touches it to be safe. But if you're the first baseman, you don't have eyes behind your head, obviously. You can't tell that he didn't touch the bag.
Right. Yeah, you're focused on catching the throw. Runners at first and third. Cubs leading 8-3. And now Pete Crow Armstrong batting.
With those back-to-back doubles, Cubs doubles, sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Reliable, comfortable, convenient. Southwest just makes sense. I'll read this 3 or 4 more times. That wouldn't be terrible.
Cubs have their biggest lead of the day. And now here's PCA. And he will show bunt and take outside. Bichette, the third baseman, and the runner at third. Shaw both breaking toward the plate. That always looks a little funny when both the fielder and the base runner are both running toward home plate. But that's what happens when a guy shows bunt. Here comes the 1-0. Pete swings and fouls it back.
Well, now, when you're the runner at third and Bichette playing in on the grass, you can take your lead as far as Bichette is off in 1 step, is kind of the rule of thumb. So Shaw, with Bichette way out in front of him, can get down the line. Now Bichette's backing up a little bit with 1 strike. So Shaw's lead will shrink some.
Pete showing bunt. Bunts it foul. It was not a suicide squeeze. It would have been perhaps in that safety squeeze category. Shaw not breaking from third. He was going to wait until the ball was down before he broke to the plate.
Yeah, Pete's bunting for a base hit, trying to move everybody along. I don't think he saw the ball real well against Manaya in his first at bat last AB.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Curveball is low, 2-2.
That was a good take. He saw that breaking ball pretty well.
The wind blowing hard toward left and left center.
Big gap in right center field for Pete.
Now the stretch and the 2-2. Fastball away. The Cubs took advantage of the wind. I would say the best example was Moises Ballesteros' 3-run homer to left in the very first inning. He hit it well, but the wind definitely gave it some boost.
Yep. He was looking for a pitch away to hit that way. First pitch down and away, and he smoked it to straight left. Ended up in the basket.
Nico Horner drilled a 2-run homer to left. It would have been out on any day, windy or not. 3-2. Minaya working on PCA. The pitch. High ball 4. Pete never chased. Minaya disgusted with himself for walking a hitter against whom he had a 1-2 count.
Good at bat for Pete. And, you know, I said the first at bat that he had against Minaya, if he was guessing wrong. But whatever that was, Pete had a very good at bat this time. And after the second bunt attempt, he really locked in and never chased the pitch out of the zone.
Dansby Swanson checks and takes a strike.
Those are really good at bats for Pete Crow Armstrong. When you're left on left and you hang in there and you don't chase some pitches out of the zone. Excellent AB for Pete.
Dansby takes down low. Cubs lead by 5, have the bases loaded with 1 away in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now the 1-1 pitch. Way outside, a wild pitch, and coming in to score is Matt Shaw. The other runners advance to second and third. Cubs now lead 9-3.
Minaya, usually pretty good command, and this one just totally gets away from him. And I mean, it really gets away from him. Lands, hits the backstop on the fly, and this was way off the plate away. No chance for Alvarez to even come close to catching that ball.
Infield halfway in. In fact, they're all the way in right now. Here's a breaking ball that missed. It's 3-1. Dansby with a walk, an infield single, and a strikeout today. And the pitch in there for a called strike. Quality starts by Cubs. We were talking about Edward Cabrera. Sponsored by Benjamin Moore. Start your next project with quality paints from Benjamin Moore, official paint of the Chicago Cubs. Cubs trying to get above 500 for the very first time this season. Trying to win 3 in a row for the first time all year. And the pitch. Poked foul by Swanson. Spoiled a pretty good pitch. Walks by Cubs batters, sponsored by It'sNotAGameIllinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. Dansby fouls it away.
Dansby battling in this at bat.
Mets in danger of losing for the 9th consecutive game. And now the payoff. Curveball hit in the air to left. Coming in and making the catch, Taylor. Tagging and coming in to score. And the throw gets away and down to third goes PCA. So Kelly tagging and scoring on the short fly ball. Give Dansby an RBI. Number 12 for him. And the Cubs have opened up a 10-3 lead here at Wrigley.
Now this is good at bat. You get this ball lofted into left field and ends up. Now I thought Lindor was at third base, and I thought they were going to appeal this play at third. I really did. He was asking for it.
Nico hits a sharp ground ball to the second baseman Simeon. The throw to first is in time, but it's a prosperous 7th inning rally for the Cubs. They score 3 times on the same number of hits. We go to the 8th inning.
2 men in scoring position here for Edmundo Sosa. And the pitch. Swing and a drive well hit towards the angled wall. Crow Armstrong looking up, and that is gone. Way back to the left of center. It's a 3-run home run for Edmundo Sosa. He hammered that pitch.
He sure did.
442 feet.
Wow.
And it's 3-0 Phillies on the homer by Sosa.
That man's got some pop.
Oh, Crochet goes down.
ball in the hat.
So whose ball is it?
It's a good question. I'm going to have to ask that lady from Philly.
Meanwhile, out in the Cove, just going to sort of check and see what the score is.
I saw Rizzo jersey trying to make the play on it. Could it be? Oh, Rizzo
he had it. He literally hit it right to him.
That's why I'm retired, is what he just said.
Going to bring up Gavin Sheets, who got his first home run of the year back in the 5th inning. Sheets to deep right center field. It's back. A 3-run home run to walk it off. Second straight night for San Diego. Holy Sheets.
Gavin Sheets knew that he had to turn up the dial. That is 100. Turn it around. And at City Connect night, Gavin Sheets connects big time.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Business needs lots of water. The Village of Bedford Park offers a safe and reliable Lake Michigan water supply. Visit villageofbedfordpark.com.
10-3 Cubs, top of the 8th inning. In the 8th inning is sponsored by Cars for Kids, 877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. To donate your car today, Patrick.
It's on to inning number 8. Webb is the new Cub pitcher. Jacob Webb's first pitch in there for a called strike. Francisco Lindor leads it off for the Mets. And the pitch to Lindor, chopped foul. Same two teams tomorrow. We'll be out here. There are some tickets available, we understand. Jamison Tyone against Freddie Peralta. That's a good matchup of veteran right-handers. Javier Assad against David Peterson on Sunday. Both games begin at 1:20. Chopper foul right side. Still waiting for the ivy to blossom, although I see some greenery on the vines out in straightaway left field.
Yeah, a little bit right over by the Sloan advertisement sign on the door. There's a little bit there.
See how we did in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game as Lindor bangs it foul off to the left out of play. It looks like Rich Wyatt was the closest today.
Richie Rich.
Our engineer. The actual figure, 34,282. Lindor pulls one foul, a big chopper toward the first base dugout.
Big deal. I turned around and he was doing the happy dance back there.
Yes. Some people take these games a bit more seriously than others. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the next pitch down low. I'm still kind of chuckling about the person that did the research regarding the Cleveland Indians. They have the longest current gap between no-hitters, and they've put down a number here. It's been 7,055 days. Here is a line drive foul.
You're saying that somebody has a little too much time on their hands, maybe?
I know I wouldn't find that real stimulating.
No,
personally.
Because
you'd probably get done, and then somebody would say, "Did you remember to add leap years?" Oh, no. Now I got to do the whole darn thing over again. Here's a pitch outside, ball 4. And Lindor will get the leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. That's right. Every 4th year, you got to add that extra day to 365. Most people put it at the end of February. I think that's customary.
Yeah, sure.
I think you ought to throw it at the end of November just to throw people off.
I think we should have a pair of November 18th.
Now you're talking. Is that your birthday?
It might be.
What a surprise. Line drive off the glove of the first baseman, and it's going to be an infield hit for Lindor. Bush tried to backhand the ball, had it kick out of the glove and roll onto the outfield grass. Hustling over, Horner almost got his man at first. The pitcher Webb covering, but It's a base hit for Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, this sort of those plays, I don't think Michael saw this ball that well. It's tough because you get down low, and he does a real good job of getting his eyes close to the ball. Just couldn't come up with it.
Luis Robert Jr. will take high.
And tough plays, seeing that. Tough plays of the game, sponsored by Loyola Medicine. Loyola Medicine defines tough.
All Cubs pitching changes. Sponsored by, here's a line drive down the left field line by Robert Jr. That's going to be an extra base knock. Racing toward third is Lindor on a double by Luis Robert Jr. And now all of a sudden those 3 runs the Cubs got in the 7th inning look a little more significant.
Yeah. Absolutely. On a day like today with that wind blowing out, you've got to keep grinding and playing these games, that's for sure. Catch of the game today, sponsored by Catch Des Moines. That play was a real trip, and so is Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours at CatchDesMoines.com.
Changes brought to you by James Hardy Building Products. Siding with the Cubs. Big gang is here from James Hardy today.
Mm-hmm.
And here is Francisco Alvarez batting. Cubs still lead comfortably. Here's a bouncer toward third. A charging Bregman gloves it. Running throw to first, not in time. As a run scores, it's an infield single. Robert Jr. held at second. He wasn't sure that his teammate Lindor was going to try to score on the play. So you've got a rare base hit where the runner at second stays on the bag.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Robert didn't get to third base. This is a pretty easy read. If you see the third baseman coming in hard and you've had your secondary, once you see him cock his arm and start to throw, he's not throwing home to get Lindor. You see him throwing first. There's nobody at third base. The base is vacant. You can just jog into third. I think he probably got caught a little bit spectating on the play itself.
Still nobody out in the inning. The Mets have scored 1.
We got a minute. Stolen bases in every Cub game. They're sponsored by Turo Tire. Chicago's hometown tire. Get called safe with Turo Tires. Find yours at aturo.com.
Give Alvarez a run batted in on that infield single, his second hit of the day. Alvarez had an odd statistical reading before the game run. I'll get to it in a minute. Melendez, the batter. Melendez will take a strike. Here we are on the 17th of April. The season's about 3 weeks old. Francisco Alvarez came into the game with 4 home runs and a grand total of 4 RBIs.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember seeing that. I mean, you're bound to pick up an RBI with a fly ball or a ground out or something.
Absolutely. Carson Kelly challenging this pitch, and he got it right. It's a strike.
The pitch is a strike. Chicago has 2 remaining.
Wow, look at that.
One thing that this automated ball strike system does, and I knew this before, Ron, but it further reminds me of just how good the umpires are and how close so many pitches are. And the pitch on the way, a swing and a miss, strike 3, and Melendez is out number 1. But these really are the best umpires. They're the best players. Major League Baseball has the best players in the world, and I would say without a doubt the best umpires in the world as well.
Yeah, for them to do as good a job as they do behind home plate, it is pretty amazing. Ball coming in at between 90 and 100 miles an hour a lot of times, moving, spinning, braking. It's not an easy job, that's for sure.
Marcus Semien with ball 1. Semien drove in a run with a second inning double. The Cub lead is 10-4. 2 men on with 1 away. Fastball high. 2-0. Ben Brown starting to warm up in the Cub bullpen. Jacob Webb is set and delivers. In there for a strike. We told you that Daniel Palencia has been placed on the injured list with a strained oblique. Muscles in the rib cage. And now the 2-1 pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss.
That's a real blow to the Cubs bullpen, boy, that's for sure.
Well, and for one thing, Ron, we don't know if today's game will require somebody to save the game, but eventually that position and that situation will arise. The 2-2 is fouled away, and we'll just have to wait and see who the best candidate is to replace Palencia while he's on the injured list.
And you wonder if how that role plays out, and do you actually kind of, may not say it, but kind of give that role to somebody, or does Craig Counsell just kind of play the matchups?
Looper into left field. There's a base hit. And the Mets rallying in the inning have a run in. The bag's loaded with only one away. And the Cub lead is 10-4. But now you're getting into a spot where you got to keep the ball in the park with these at-bats.
Yep. Well, and that not advancing to third base as of right now has cost the Mets a run. If you can get a ground ball and turn a pair, it would save you a run here in this inning.
Mark Vientos batting. This guy's got some power. Right-handed hitter. And the pitch to Vientos, a swing and a miss. Good breaking ball.
Brown and Milner warming up in the Cubs bullpen right now.
10-4 Cubs, bags loaded. New York batting here in the 8th inning.
First out of the inning, sponsored by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Xfinity, imagine that.
And the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Now it's 0-2. What's on your mind?
I would go something either up or away. He was very late on that last fastball. I'd stick with the heater and go away.
Here's a ground ball to short. Swanson go to second, one. Knee go to first. Hold it to a double play. Inning ending 6-4, 3 killing. Mets get one and no more. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs
in a big time spot here in the 8th. It's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone. Yelich delivers in the clutch, and he left nothing in the tank.
My God, how far did that go? A bomb,
421 feet away.
My goodness.
Christian Yelich, a 3-run blast.
Out to the gap again. Raley adjusting on the warning track. Jumps and Luke Raley makes the catch up against the wall.
Jackson with a fly ball to deep left field. It's going. It's gone. Royals scored 7 runs. Oh, Jeremiah Jackson goes deep again.
He doesn't want to look back. He just wants to stay positive and keep it simple, Chet.
He just did it. Another homer. Line drive bullet from Jordan Walker, his 8th.
That ball tagged out toward left. Way back. Mike Trout has tied it. Trout sends one deep into the night. He's done it again.
And he has a home run here tonight. See ya. I'll go that way. Deep to left. See ya. There's your answer.
Consumers Credit Union, you can trust they put you first. Partner with the people in your corner at myconsumers.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is sponsored by Club Citgo. Download the Club Citgo app. Save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. Only one game currently being played in Major League Baseball. It's the one right here at Wrigley Field. Bottom 8, Cubs 10, Mets 4. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, they've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Cubs, the official source for your Chicago Cubs gear. Pat?
Ground ball, base hit right field. Michael Busch collecting his second knock of the day. Good for him. Maybe this game will get him going, Ron.
Yeah, you wonder sometimes, how this game goes. Michael, early in the season hit some balls here at Wrigley that didn't go out of the ballpark, that were caught at the track with the wind howling in. And then it just kind of builds into kind of a slump. And now little bloop base hit the other day, pinch hitting, and now he's got 2 hits today. So, yeah, hopefully Michael will get back on track here. He had such a big year for the Cubs last year.
Manaea still pitching for the Mets. Each team with 13 hits in the game. Cubs on top 10-4 in the 8th. Bregman takes low and in, the count 2-0. Sean Manaea. Slowly comes set, short lead by Bush at first. There's a big chop slowly to third, charging Bichette, gloves it, throws to first in time. Advancing to second is Bush, 1 away, and the batter Ian Happ.
Watching Bichette, who is natural shortstop, played second base, if you remember last year in the World Series. He had the knee issue and came back and played second for Toronto during the World Series. But, one of the top free agents to come out this year, and, the Mets asking him to move to third base, and seems like a pretty good transition. He's made a couple good plays at third today.
Deep fly ball by Ian Happ. Down the line and left. It's got a chance. Gone. 2-run home run. And the Cubs now lead 12-4 for Ian Happ, his 5th of the year. He leads the team in that category, and that one should just about put this ball game on ice.
Ian gets a little backdoor breaking ball, and this one gets a lot of the plate, and he crushes this ball to left. This one is hit a long way, and then you add the wind to it. This one ends up on Waveland Avenue, and I mean, this ball was hit a ton.
Happ now with 10 RBIs. Bush along for the ride. Cubs lead 12-4 here at Wrigley. Seiya drives one in the air to right. In the corner, slicing toward foul territory, and it stays on the field of play, and Benj makes the catch for out number 1. Make it out number 2.
That ball on most days would have ended up in the seats foul, but the wind blowing out towards left center blew that ball back into the, kept it in the field of play. That was not an easy play for the right fielder.
We'd like to invite you to stay tuned for the toast of the game. Ron Coomer's going to name that in the 9th inning. Sponsored by Benny's Beverage Depot. Matt Shaw, 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI, batting, taking a strike. Zach Zaidman preparing his postgame show even as we speak. Stay tuned for the Old National Bank Cubs radio postgame show, the official bank of the Cubs radio network. The 1-1 hammered foul down the left field line. Not only are the Cubs trying to win for a 3rd straight game, but 3 very impressive offensive ball games back to back to back, and that's a great sign.
It really is. And you go back to this club, you knew it was a very talented offensive club when it was put together. But, early in the season, the weather here at Wrigley was just not good to hit in. And we played some games where the wind chill did not get above 38, 39 degrees. That's just not good weather to hit with the wind howling in. Well, we had 3 or 4 good days of weather, and the bats have come alive.
And it's that way just about every year. There are going to be some uncomfortably chilly days early in the year. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Fly ball, left field, long run toward the line. Taylor makes a running catch. Nice play, and that ends the inning. Cubs score twice on the home run by Ian Happ. It's on to the 9th inning. Cubs 12, Mets 4.
What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid,
O-Pee-Chee. It was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1966 with Billy Sorrell.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back, bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the Ultimate Mystery Player Challenge, and Immaculate Grid, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new Daily Walk-Off. Lock in your players by category for the walk-off win. The game's official home for games is MLB Play. Only on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Some overnight oats right before the game. My teammates look at me like, what are you doing, dude?
My mom's cooking, probably. She makes some good. She's got a tuna fish casserole. That's pretty good.
Okay, I went 5 for 5. I need to eat the same thing. Last time, Saturday, I ate arepa with eggs, and then next day, I gotta eat arepa with eggs. So my mom make it for me, and then when my mom is with me,
everything's good.
I save a lot of money.
Estamos leyendo.
Puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas y jerseys autografiados, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores. Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Exciting with the Cubs. Learn more at jameshardy.com.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Top 9, 12-4 Cubs. The ninth inning is sponsored by Circa Resort and Casino. Get ready for the time of your life. CircaLasVegas.com. Pat?
Viva Las Vegas. First pitch in there for a strike to Tyrone Taylor.
Viva Las Vegas.
Isn't that a song by Elvis? Here comes the next offering. Taken high for a ball. Was there a movie?
Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas?
I was in Vegas this spring training. Stayed at one of our major sponsors' hotels, Circa Resort.
Looper into shallow right. A base hit for Tyrone Taylor. Taylor, a leadoff ninth inning opposite field single. And back to the top of the order for Carson Bench.
Talk about a group that really rolls out the red carpet for you. That was very nice. We went to Las Vegas from spring training from Arizona for a couple of days and went to the Eagles concert. Pat, you love that. Yep, at the Sphere. Saw the Eagles. They were playing. Great show.
Milner, the left-hander, set and fires. It's in there for a strike. Tommy Pham is pinch hitting. I thought he looked familiar. Pham hits a fly ball to right. It's going to be playable for Seiya Suzuki, and that's out number 1. Here in the ninth inning, Pham has played for several major league teams. Yep. And just when you think his career is over, he shows up again.
Yep, absolutely. Pitching changes by the Cubs, sponsored by James Hardy Building Products, siding with the Cubs. And we have said we had them guys in the booth earlier today in the third inning.
Ron, it's about that time for you to name the Benny's Beverage Depot Toast of the Game ball player. We are in the ninth inning. Benny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
Well, we definitely got some candidates. Nico Hoerner once again on homer, 2 RBIs, a run scored, and maybe the best play we've seen all year out at second base. That was pretty spectacular. We got some other guys, Ballesteros with 2 hits, knocked in 3 with the 3-run homer. But also, how about Cabrera and his outing today in these conditions?
And he's still kind of learning about the conditions here. He hasn't been a Cub all that long. I thought he was great today.
He 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, all 3 in the second inning, and then just settled into the ball game and pitched great. Six great innings. But we will go again today with Nico Hoerner. Defense, offense, he's doing it all.
There's a looper foul off the bat of Bo Bichette.
So he will be our Benny's Beverage Depot Toast of the Game ball player. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
Bruce Levine of the Score is down near the Cubs third base dugout. He will grab one of the Cubs for a quick conversation right after the game. Bruce showing amazing constraint, not jumping on the field until the game is over. That's real discipline. Here's a swing and a bouncing ball to short. Swanson goes to second. They get one. Over to first. That's a double play, and the Cubs win the ball game. 6-4-3 on the Twin killing. And it is time to fly the W. Sponsored by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Chicago Cubs, as the Cubs beat the Mets by a score of 12-4. The Mets now have lost 9 in a row, and the Cubs run are over 500 for the first time all year.
Yeah, it's been a good stretch here for the Cubs. Cubs pitching, but really the Cubs offense, these last 3 ball games in particular, have been outstanding for the Cubs, banging the ball around the yard, power, speed, up and down the lineup. When you look at the lineup today, you know, all the lineup contributed. That's, you know, that's when you know you're really clicking on all cylinders as an offense.
Cubs congratulating one another down near the third base dugout. Kind of a parade of guys high-fiving one another. Total team victory today. Yep. Lots of hitting, lots of offense, some good defense, and a very nice job by the Cubs starter, Edward Cabrera. And I believe that Bruce Levine has a guest.
Yes, sir. I have Moises Ballesteros here. Mo, you got it started today. When you have a tough pitcher like Senga, what were you looking for?
I mean, I'm staying in the home play. I say I'm looking for good pitch for hitting, and the results are good results today.
When you see the flags blowing out at Wrigley Field, do you have to control yourself from not taking an overswing?
I mean, I feel amazing when the wind is like on the top, and I feel really good. And then when the good results during the game, I feel amazing. When they're winning the games, it's amazing too.
You guys have a lot going right now with 33 runs in the last 3 games. What's different about you guys?
Nothing. I play together, play for a team, play for a scored runs, and every guy he helped me together, and then the good results after that.
Well, Mo, congratulations. You're going to Chicago Cut for the best steak in Chicago. Go enjoy this with your teammates, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks. Guys, back to you in the booth upstairs.
Thanks to Bruce Levine and Moises Ballesteros. Chicago Cut Steakhouse, by the way, features 100% USDA prime steaks and seafood served overlooking the yachts traveling down the Chicago River while guests gaze up at one of the world's most iconic skylines. Chicago Cut's expanded bar has become the city's place to be seen, with guests enjoying one of Chicago's extensive wine and spirits offerings. Don't forget to check out the secret food menu. That's food menu. Here's a live broadcast. Don't forget to check out the secret